crazy this summer spending money. I spent money, y'all. I spent money. Like money I usually don't spend, I spent. So it's Keoshia, I'm back for another video. If you like these types of video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any more videos from me. Without further ado, let's just get into today's video. Okay, as you can tell from the title of today's video, I am doing an updated budget video. I have not done a budget video in a month, not since like, did I even do one at the beginning of the year? I don't even remember the last time if I even did one this year, so that's bad in itself. So I just want to give you guys an update in my about my budget and what's going on. I told you guys in my Q&A that I would be talking about my budget today, so that's what we're going to do today. If you haven't seen that Q&A video, I will link it up here so you guys can go check it out. Make sure you do, because I have a giveaway going on, and to find out all the information about the giveaway, you will have to watch that video. So make sure you go watch it and watch it in its entirety. Okay, so anyway, so how is my budget going? It is going. I actually do not budget every single time I get paid anymore. I actually just keep a check register. So what I do is my check register is always budgeted with my bank account. So whatever my total bank account monies that I have in my multiple bank accounts, if my register doesn't match, that means that I am out of balance. So I kind of don't use the monthly budgeting anymore. I don't use the cash envelopes anymore, and I will explain it to you why. And it's not to say that I will never do it again. It's just at this moment, I don't see it as me needing to actually do it, so I'm not doing it, okay? That's just, it just is what it is. I mean, to come on here, you guys know I would come on here truthfully. I don't try to sugarcoat. I just don't feel that I need it right now. But I will get back on it. I promise you that this is not a forever thing. This is just right now here at this moment. So, like I said, I have not been doing it, but I have been using my check register. So with my check register, like I said, it always matches all of my bank account. I have a check register for each bank account. And then I also have my available balance. And then with my available balance, I have been paying off debt or things like that. We will get into my debt later because I have some updates on that. And we will get into that. But I have not been like just meticulous with my budget. I kind of laxy-daisy on it a little bit, but not so much that it affected anything at all, or I'm like back in huge amount of debt and I got this type of stuff going on. No, it's not that big. My plans did get deterred this year because of the pandemic, like a lot of people have. I was really hoping to do a lot of things this year and accomplish a lot of goals this year, and I wasn't able to because of the pandemic and because of my particular situation when it comes to the pandemic. I do have autoimmune disease, I have Crohn's disease, so I do take medicine that lowers my immune system. So with that being said, some of the options that I had to do, I was not able to do, or I had to quit, or whatever the case may be. But we'll get into that later. So let's just start with some detailed information. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is my emergency fund. If you guys don't know, my goal this year was to have $10,000 in my emergency fund. My ultimate goal is to have $15,000, and then my ultimate goal is to have 20. So this year I wanted to have $10,000, and I was hoping that I would able to hit the 15,000 mark later on this year as well. Well, the pandemic hit, and that unfortunately that was not able to happen. So in May, I did reach my goal, and I did have $10,000 in my emergency fund. I was fully funded, and I was planning on working on other things. When the pandemic came, I thought it would be a temporary thing. I thought I would still be able to work on other things. Unfortunately, it is still going on, so therefore I still have not been able to do exactly what I wanted to do. Now, in August, I did have an issue where I had to use some money out of my emergency fund, and I have not replenished it as of yet. And I'll explain that later. So in August, my washing machine broke and it flooded my laundry room. And so therefore I needed to get a new washing machine. It's not that it couldn't be repaired, but I had actually repaired it twice before, and this is actually the second time it had flooded my laundry room. If you guys know, I have laminate floors. They cannot get wet. They cannot be like sitting in pools of water, or it will ruin the floor. And at this point, I figured it was time to go ahead and get a new washer and dryer. If you follow me on my Instagram, you saw all of that. So I went ahead and went to Lowe's, and I got the most basic washer and dryer I can get. I think each one costs $4.99 plus tax, and then I got the warranty and things like, and the hoses and all the stuff that goes with it. So I ended up using the $1,260 from my emergency fund. So right now, sitting in my emergency fund, I have $8,774.41. And I have yet to replenish my emergency fund as of right now. And so I am 41% to my $15,000 goal, and I'm 88% to my $10,000 goal for this year. This year I had totally saved $3,764 after spending money. So that is where my emergency fund is. Okay, you guys, so let's just get into my sinking funds. So last year, you know, I actually depleted multiple of my sinking funds, and I have yet to replenish any of them. At this point, I don't know, I just didn't feel a need to actually keep putting stuff in the sinking fund. I feel like I'm just really off track, and not as far as like preparing for things or having money. I just feel like at this point, something major and traumatic would have to happen for me to feel these sinking funds. And then all of these sinking funds are not necessary sinking funds. They're not something that I have to have, something that I have to do. It's more of a luxury for real, most of these sinking funds are. So we're just gonna go through what they are, and I'm just gonna tell you what the balances are. So in my travel fund, I only have $100. Clearly I'm not going nowhere. In my vacation fund, I have $252. Clearly we're not going on vacation either. In my car maintenance fund, I have $200. Now, I did have an issue where my battery went out in my new car, and it was completely dead, and I need to get a new battery. But I actually took it out of my weekly paychecks because I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't spending any money. I wasn't using cash envelopes, so I didn't see the need to actually take it out of my car maintenance fund. So I just took it out of my regular check and left the $200 in the car maintenance fund. In my life happen funds, I have $122.02. The reason why it's odd is because anytime I get interest in this fund or in this checking account, I just put it in my life happens, and so it just be odd. I have $0 in my home maintenance fund. I spent every last single penny in my home maintenance fund. Working on my house last year, working on my house this year, so that money was well spent. You know, when you guys see my laundry room, you will understand why. The majority of my money this year I spent on my laundry room. And what else did I do this year? I got a shed, and I feel like I did something else, but I don't know. If I remember, I'll put it across the stream. If not, remind me. Y'all probably know better than I do if you watch my vlogs, but I did do that. In the birthday fund, I have $100. In clothing fund, I have $0. Summer fund, $0. Amari and Jalen are my children. They have $0. Me, myself, and I have $0. School supplies, I have $0. YouTube, I have some money in there, but I'm not gonna say what it is. Etsy is $0. And then in Christmas, I have $983. That's like the most thing that I've actually been putting money into. And what has been funding my Christmas fund this year has been my student loan money. Okay, if you guys don't know, the government did defer all student loans with no interest and no payments are due. If you guys don't remember, I am on the student loan forgiveness program. So therefore, if I make qualifying payments for the next 10 years on my student loans, they will write the rest of the student loans off. I did look into it. Because I am not making payments and because I don't have interest on my student loans, they are still making those $0 payments as qualifying payments. So therefore, I just take that money that I am not using in student loans and every single month, and I just put it into my Christmas fund so we can still have Christmas and I don't have to come out of my regular paycheck. So why not just use that money for good? That's just my opinion on student loans. I'm not going to give them any more extra dime than I have to. That's just me, myself, and I. If you don't agree, I apologize, but that's just what I feel. So that's what I'm doing with that money, and that's how my Christmas fund is getting funded for this year. And my actual goal for Christmas was $1,200, $1,200 to $1,500 this year. And most likely I probably won't even have to use a lot of that money. My children are older. They get like clothes and stuff. They don't really get toys and things. They're 14 and 21. So that's that. And then that's it. So that's all that I have in my sinking funds. That's all I've been doing with them. I haven't really been doing too much with them. Now let's just get on to my debt. So one thing that I have done, and I did get in trouble a little bit this summer with shopping. You guys know I usually go to the thrift store and shop for my wardrobe, so therefore I spend a minimal amount of money. And if you don't remember from last year, I was kind of switching over my wardrobe, changing my style, trying to get a little bit more minimal, trying to get more basic pieces. So last year I spent a lot of money on my fall wardrobe, but I was able to shop at the thrift store. This year I had no clothes for my summer wardrobe. I didn't have any basics. Everything that I had, I either couldn't fit or it wasn't my style anymore. I kind of boo crazy this summer spending money. I spent money, y'all. I spent money. Like money I usually don't spend, I spent. But it didn't affect anything. I guess I could have saved it. I could have did this and I could have did that. Could have, should have, would have. We're not gonna even reflect on that. So I did spend a lot of money on clothes, but I did put it on my PayPal account. You guys know I had paid off my PayPal account. Unfortunately, it's not paid off anymore. I owe $1,200 on my PayPal account. So I'm currently using extra money. Money I'm not using in my cash envelopes. Money I'm not using. And it's just sitting there and I'm paying off my PayPal. So that is the only thing I owe money on. I don't have any more loans besides the furniture loan, and you guys know that's 0 interest, so it'll be paid off when it paid off. So that's 0 interest. So that and PayPal are my two things that I had. I always had the furniture, you guys knew about that, but I have gone back into more debt in my PayPal. Unfortunately, I've actually gotten it down. It was like $2,000 and something. I paid $1,000 on it last month and got it down to $100. So yeah, that is the only debt that I have incurred, is that right? That I've gotten, let's just say that I've gotten since I've last talked to you guys about my budget. Like I said, just keeping up with everything the best that I can. I am still making pretty good and pretty smart financial decisions. Let's talk about my goals. I forgot to talk about that. So my goal this year was to start paying off my house. So start to get a second job and take all of that extra money from my second job and actually put it towards the principal payment of my house. You guys know my daughter's in high school, and one of my goals is that I talked about last year in the beginning of this year is to have my house paid off by the time Jalen gets out of high school. Unfortunately, don't look like we gonna make it. We could. I always feel like I can't do something in a certain amount of time and then I bust out and do it. So we never know. It could still be paid off. At this point, I think I owe like $60,000 on my house. So I wanted to have it paid off by the time she graduated from high school. So one of the things I did to get a second job is I signed up to be a census taker. And what I did realize that I would be going door to door to people's houses, but when we got hired and they finally called us back and then we started doing the census, I didn't realize that we would actually still be going door to door. So I wore the mask. I did it for a couple of weeks, but it was just too much. I started visiting people's houses and they had signs on the door talking about they had COVID and they had this, and then homeschooling started and I just couldn't do it. So I only worked a couple weeks as a census worker and I had to quit because I just couldn't take them type of risk, and then I didn't have as much time. And the reason why I said I didn't have much time is because census, you know, was supposed to be like back in April and May and June. So by the time the new school year started, the job was actually supposed to be over. I never anticipated starting late and then having to do that and help homeschool my child. So that was something I couldn't do. And COVID, I can't catch the COVID, y'all. I can't do it. So that's one of those things. And then another thing was I was just gonna get a second job, like at a, I don't know, being a cashier, whatever I could find. I'm not picky. I just want to make money to pay off my house. I am not picky about what it is that I do. And unfortunately, with the pandemic still going on, the exposure, people not wearing masks, blah, 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 I just cannot get a second job. I cannot take the risk of dying trying to pay off this damn house, okay? I'm not gonna do it. So hopefully next year things will change, they will get better. Maybe they'll have a vaccine, maybe it'll go away, who knows? So that's my ultimate goal, is to have my house paid off by the time my daughter graduates from high school. So that is my next goal in life to do, when as far as it comes to financial goals. So that will be on my list every single year until it's actually done. So that was my plan this year for that, and unfortunately it didn't work out. So, you know, things don't always go the way you want them to go, but oh well. So that's basically my budget update. Super simple, concise, and to the point. That's all that's going on with me. There's no mountains of debt, there's no hidden agenda, there's no, I just gave it all up. I'm doing what I'm doing based on the circumstances that everybody is in, and that's what I did. So let me know down below how your budget is going. Have you fallen back in debt? Are you still paying off things? Do you still have a second job? How is your, you know, your emergency fund going? How is your, all of that going? Just let me know how you're doing in the comments below. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be glad to answer them for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this updated budget video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.